this up? I'm having a great time. Y'all need to come show us how to do that in tree. Today's a special day for a lot of reasons. How many have been Rotary members here for 5 years or longer? Everybody. Do you remember us putting a program on here 4.5 years ago? Okay. It's been interesting because after that presentation, little to my knowledge, over the last 4.5 years, I think I've been to every civic club almost in West Tennessee as this presentation's evolved, talking about natural gas vehicles. And I think everybody in here by now surely has heard something to the effect of what's going on in the country with this. So I'm back, and it's kind of a full robin circle here to be back, and I'm really glad to be here. Y'all have a fun club. And we're doing something a little different today. Tate is manager of the Paris Henry County Utility District, one of my colleagues, and he's got a new engineer here named Ben Chow. They're going to film this today, and we're going to put it on YouTube. Is that all right? Give Paris have a little thing? Sure. And also we're going to hand it out to all the utility and gas utilities in the state. If they have other civic clubs, they'd like to do this as well. So we'll go ahead and get started. Before I start my presentation, how many are enjoying the $2 gasoline we have right now? Everybody? Yeah. No, some people aren't. They didn't raise their hand. That might be a fine. They didn't like the $2 gasoline.
And we'll pass the 4-way test.
Okay. Why is it $2?
Supply and demand.
Supply and demand. What happened almost a year ago today? Thanksgiving Day last year, what happened? That's a loaded question. OPEC met. What OPEC do? No, they kept their quota of oil at the same level because there was recession going on around the globe, and our producers were trying to encroach on their market share. They didn't like that, and even though it was a small amount, they still didn't like it. They didn't like Russia either. So they go, well, we'll take the hit, and we'll keep our production up, and we'll put those guys out of business. And here we are a year later, and a lot of Americans have been laid off. A lot of wells have been shut in. I'm proud to say natural gas production has not slowed down one bit. They haven't slowed that down. They've slowed down the oil a little bit. They've also raised the air of Putin, and that's going to be interesting to watch as this thing moves forward. So your gasoline prices are artificially low because the Saudis want you to have low prices. It's good for the economy, but I just want you to be aware of what's going on. Now, from what I'm reading and where I stand, it looks like it's going to be low for about another year, maybe a few more years after that. It just depends on what happens over in that hot spot of the world, what could disrupt supply. If sanctions are lifted against Iran and they start throwing oil on the open market, which we got more than we know what to do with now, and we'll see what's going to happen. But cheap, abundant energy is what makes America great. With that, you can have it all. You can have jobs, you can have factories, you can have all that. You got to have cheap, abundant energy. Because of the price of natural gas, chemical companies are coming back to Louisiana by the drove. They are hiring people left and right. That's happening with other sectors across the nation too. Like Philip said, I've been in business 35 years. I started this whole thing here 4.5 years ago, promoting natural gas vehicles. I had the vehicle I had out there now. It hadn't been converted yet. I've got about 94,000 miles on it. It runs on gasoline too, but we don't use gasoline very much. And I've been running primarily on natural gas. I can go anywhere in the state now. I drove to Atlanta not too long ago. I'll go to Gatlinburg anytime I want to. And we'll get into that. But there's at least 11 stations across the state right now that you can fill up in the public. And the price ranges from $1.39 to $1.99. Well, gas is $2 a gallon. You don't think about that. But you're being fooled by the Saudis. American gas is American gas. So anyway, let's get started. Here's our station. We opened this May 19th. I did something a little different. Once we became an alternative fuel, I started attending all the TDEC meetings I could, Tennessee Department of Environmental Conservation. I've gotten to know those folks very, very well. I was listening to what's going on. Industry is all about sustainability. That is the key buzzword that's going on all over the country. Anything to do to cut energy consumption, anything to do to be greener and cleaner, and all the things that go along with that, everything from solar to wind, whatever. So, after I listened to all that, and then the industry started saying, hey, UPS, FedEx, Ryder trucks, in our marketing plan, we want you to move our product, because we've got this clean industry here, from point A to point B, which is the people who are going to buy it. We want you to move that clean and green. What's happening? UPS, FedEx, even Waste Management. Every waste management truck in America is going to compressed natural gas. And so you've already started seeing a lot more of that happening around the country. So, after listening to all that, I thought, we're going to build a station, but why don't we complete the sequence of sustainability and fill up at the greenest station there is? And that's exactly what we built. I came up with the idea of having this green station because of these TDAC meetings, because of this influence. And so we are on the grid for only a nanosecond. As soon as the station senses it needs power, it hits a transfer switch. The transfer switch, which is over 175 kV generator, runs on natural gas. So we're off the grid at that point. And the electricity is made right there. It powers the compressors. We have a bank of solar panels that were made in America, and it powers our LED lighting under our canopy. Now, we're totally off the grid. We're totally green. We've already won 2 environmental awards from TDAP with that. We've got national attention because it's a good thing for West Tennessee. The guy mentioned Westar. They are having a big program down at Pickwick today. I don't know how many people are here at Westar, but I'll give that a plug. I'm on board. It's one of the greatest things West Tennessee can have, and I encourage you to get involved with that. But let's get to the presentation. Here's a picture of the station. This is one of our first 18-wheelers that came in. It's Seaboard Trucking. He talked to us for a while. He liked our station. He liked what he saw. He gave us a few pointers and some other things we wanted to have done. Not very much, but we were real tickled about that. But let me tell you about my first customer. My first customer, I got a call the day before she showed up. Her brother ran an advertising business in Eaton, Oklahoma. He said, "Y'all open?" "Yeah." He said, "My sister's coming through tomorrow on the way home. Business trip." "Great. Give her our number. I want to meet her out there." I said, "For the 15 minutes she's at my station, she's my customer just like I serve gas at somebody's house." She pulls in, and I was shocked. She was in a Honda Civic GX, totally dedicated natural gas fuel. This thing has an 8-gallon tank. And she's heading to Enid, Oklahoma. I said, "Ma'am, where'd you come from?" She said, "I came from Upton, Massachusetts." "Really?" "I want to impress upon you, that's how many natural gas service stations are already out there, open to the public. This lady could go from Upton, Massachusetts to Trenton, Tennessee. She was going to cross the river, go to Jonesboro, fill the tank up again, and head over to Fort Smith and then on into Enid. That's how many are out there. And I'll have some apps up here you can look and find out where these stations are. I found this quote the other day by Eisenhower, and I think it couldn't be more appropriate since we just celebrated Veterans Day, and it's something I think we ought to live by. It says, "I only have one yardstick by which I test every major problem, and that yardstick is it good for America?" That quote is one of the reasons I've been doing this. Nobody's putting a gun to my head to do this. It's the right thing to do. It's good for America. It's American fuel that gives us an independence. But I think that was very appropriate for what we're doing today. CNG, compressed natural gas. When you see that logo on a vehicle, that is the universal logo that you know that car or truck is running on compressed natural gas. Why choose it as a transportation fuel? We kind of talked about it a little bit already. It's clean, uncarbon atom. It meets all the sustainability requirements. That's one of the reasons you're seeing a lot of electric generation going to natural gas. In a minute, it's abundant. I got another slide in a minute. You will not believe how much natural gas. We are blessed beyond all measure. We have more natural gas than anybody in the world. It's safe. I'll prove that here in a minute. Another very good point, it's domestically produced. It's not affected by world oil commodity pricing. It's here in America, and it's economical. And there was the latest average pricing around the country we got just the other day. And I was even surprised at the gasoline, but we're still a little cheaper than the gasoline even today. So what's going on? And there's my truck out, and it's parked out front. If y'all want to take a drive like Philip did. Ain't kidding, we did do 95. All right. There's 15 million natural gas vehicles in the world. Look who's got the most. Number one on the list, Iran. Our friends. No, not our friends. They got 3,500,000 natural gas vehicles. Why they got that many? Well, they got a lot of oil, but they don't have a lot of refineries, so they had to use natural gas to get around them. So they've proven that a nation can we're running on natural gas. And you look at the rest of them, I mean, Brazil, $1,750,000. I mean, it's a third world country. And then we're down there at about 170,000 because the abundance has just come along in the last 5 years and the market's really starting to take off. But there's a world total of 18 million, excuse me, it's 18 million. Just to show you that this isn't a new technology, something you need to be afraid of. It's happening all over the world. And we got more natural gas than anybody. All right, here's a picture of all the interstate pipelines in America. These carry natural gas. Most people haven't seen a map like this. You got 2.4 million miles of natural gas pipelines. Put that in perspective, we got 2.6 million miles of paved roads. We got almost as much pipe in the ground as we do paved roads, just to give you how much we got. The infrastructure's here. They're all tied together. There's no problem moving gas around anywhere. It's already here. And pipelines are one of the most safest forms of moving a product there is in America. Currently 1,200 public natural gas fueling stations in America, and just to show you where we need to go, there's 115,000 gasoline stations in America. I look for it as a transformation in transportation that's going through right now. Now, this is an interesting map. See every one of those little blue rectangles there? That represents the natural gas refueling stations open to the public right now today. There's 11 in Tennessee. I mean, I get in my truck in Trenton. I can drive all the way to Gatlinburg. Superior County Utility just opened the station 2 years ago. I fill up there and come all the way back. I get 400 miles on a 22-gallon tank. I get 400 miles on my 22-gallon gasoline tank. I got 800-mile range on my truck. But we don't drive on gasoline if we don't want to. We don't have to. But the gasoline's there in case I do need to get to the next station. But you look at them, and they're everywhere, and there's more coming. There'll be 5 more in Tennessee in another year. And here they are as a breakdown. I won't get into all of them, but there they are in that list. CNG vehicles are expected to grow from about 170,000, which is about where we said we are now, to more than 500,000 by 2020. That's just a few years. That just shows you the breadth of how this is going. It's a 17% annual growth. So the demand will rise from 100 billion cubic feet of natural gas to more than 250 billion cubic feet by 2020. That sounds like a lot. We got way more than that. That's not going to be a problem. The estimate used to be 120 years, but now it looks like it's about 200 years. And that's not even talking about methane hydrates. And I'm not going to go into a lot with that. Just know that there are methane hydrates off every coastal shore in the world. Japan is looking at harvesting some of that right now to help their energy needs over there since they've had so much trouble with nuclear. It is frozen natural gas right off the coastline, and it's a different way of harvesting it, but you can harvest it and put it in pipelines. Statewide sales. In 2013, we sold 248,000 basically gallons. You see the GGE? That's gasoline gallon equivalent. You got to have some way to balance this out. And what better common denominator than a BTU? So we take the BTUs, and a gallon of gasoline equals the BTUs, and a gallon of CNG, compressed natural gas, and that's what a GG is. We have apples to apples. But look at 2014, we sold over 1 million gallons. That's 490% increase, and it's going to continue to rise. Here's some slides I got from a TDOT presentation back in February at an environmental conference I was at Kingsport. This is our highway system now. This is pretty much talking about how many long-haul trucks we have. See how much thicker the line's just got? They're saying, let's see, they're saying that there's 35,000 long-haul trucks a day on I-40, and they're saying by 2040 there's going to be 50,000 long-haul trucks a day. 50,000. There's going to be about 3 million more people in Tennessee. What does that mean? That means apartments, that means houses, that means cars, that means jobs, that means buying clothes, that means everything it takes to sustain somebody's life. What does America run on? We run on trucks. That's how everything comes to you today. So that's going to have to meet the need of the growing population here in Tennessee. So you get over on the diesel side of things and all the pollution that it causes. Well, that's why you have UPS. They just ordered 1,400 more trucks. I've got another slide here in a minute and I'm going to show you. But these big trucking firms and Cummins engines that build engines that are going to run on one of these trucks that can run across the country on natural gas. They already have it. And there's one that just happened, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri, iconic company. They just ordered 97 of those long-haul trucks right there. They run on compressed natural gas. It says in one truck, it says from seed to sip. And then on the side, it says 100% powered by clean burning natural gas. Now, that company invested multi-million dollars in all those trucks because they saw a benefit. Number one, it's a benefit for the environment. Number two, it's American fuel. But what they also realized that 1 gallon of compressed natural gas is a lot lighter than 1 gallon of diesel. The weight differential means you can haul more beer. Is that something to be proud of? Okay, that's what I thought. Come on, work with it, work with it. All right. This is how it works. They have what they call a backpack behind the cab. The tanks are there. You fill them up, and at a station like ours, and then they're on their merry way. I won't get into a lot of this, but this is all about the greenhouse gas emissions and how much cleaner it is and how much less carbon dioxide we produce with natural gas and fewer particulates. And then we have the electric generation. How many people know down in Memphis right now the New Allen steam plant is being converted over to natural gas? And I think the new Johnsonville one as well. It's happening all over the valley. It's happening around the country. In fact, right now, if you look at the nation, about 55% of your electricity is being generated by natural gas right now. Most people might not know that. TVA is moving from 36% to 42%. It's to meet the environmental mandates that are coming out of Washington. So it's clean. It's making your electricity. And electricity is what have our lights on today and this power plant going on. The people that helped build our station that we contracted with is Midwest Energy Solutions out of Kansas City, Missouri. Wonderful people to work with. They enjoyed the challenge of building a green station. It's the only one they knew of that they've ever seen. And I will tout it. It's not only the greenest in Tennessee, but possibly the nation, because we've gotten that kind of attention. What does that mean for West Tennessee? It's all about regionality. It means good for West Tennessee. It's good for Tennessee. Here's our station from an aerial view. You should have seen me getting out of the bucket truck. I couldn't get my other foot out. But anyway, it's a joke, y'all. Come on, work with it. Anyway, here's a bird's eye view. Here's the canopy. Here's in the concreted areas all our equipment that runs the station. Here's our solar panels. There's the $1.99 price tag. It's right on the 4-lane on Highway 45W. Our traffic that comes through is pretty much north-south. They get to Kentucky, go to Parkways, go up to Louisville, whatever, and then cross and go to the river, go to St. Louis, and vice versa. Then that just shows the day we started filling up our trucks. We just took delivery of 4 more trucks the other day. We got 14 out of 25. They're primarily run on compressed natural gas. Here we are, groundbreaking. The compressors, we got room for 1 more compressor as we grow. They're being installed right there. There's our generator. It displaces the amount of electricity that powers 35 homes. So if you want sustainability and you want to cut back on generation, because TVA just got really excited because they got Watts Bar 2 approved to come back online. That'll serve 650,000 homes. And then there's another thing that's going on. There is a project underway right now. It's been going on 5 years. I don't know exactly when they're going to break ground. They're not too far from it. They're going to take wind power from Guymon, Oklahoma, and transmit it all the way back to North Shelby County to a substation there to get it back on the TVA grid. Now, it's going to run on DC power, which means less resistance in the lines, but it's a $2 billion project. It just shows how serious they are about this environmental and trying to generate power. These are our storage tubes. They're much like the gasoline tubes, storage tanks on the pumps. That's where we store our gas, so that when you pull the dispenser out and put it in your car, then you pull the trigger, that's where it goes. Comes from. We use Andalay solar panels made in the U.S. They're state-of-the-art. Here we are, there's my truck panel. Here's our dispenser. We wanted this to be as environment as friendly as gasoline, so when you came up to the pump, it wouldn't be such a shock to you. So the dispenser looks very similar to gasoline. There's my wife and I on the grand opening day. You can see the dispenser I'm holding right there. Looks a lot like a gasoline facility. It's primarily the same. You pull the trigger, it works just like gasoline. You put it on, you hit the handle. The handle does a quick connect, grips hold of the tank, the little nozzle for the tank, and you go over and flip the handle up on the dispenser and it pumps the gas in. When it gets through, you're through, you take it off. This is the fueling system for a Honda Civic GX, like the lady that came through. It's in the back of the car. There's 4 different types. Hose right at 8 gallons. I don't have enough time to show you all the videos, but they drop test these in the back of cars like this from 90 feet, 100 feet, 120 feet in the air, fully loaded, nothing's happened. They froze them, they put dynamite on them, they shot them, nothing's happened. The tanks are more secure than the gasoline tank you have on your vehicle today. Now, here's real world proof. Here's a bus that caught on fire, totally engulfed. It was because of the engine. The engine didn't run on natural. No, it did run on natural gas, but you see the tanks on top? Nothing happened to them. Totally engulfed and nothing happened to the tanks. What happens is, if the temperature does get hot enough, they have a pressure relief device and it'll release the atmosphere, but it's at such high pressure it's going to go straight to atmosphere. It's not going to be like in this room right here where it can have a chance for explosive mixture. In May, I generated a CNG rally across Tennessee. We started in Memphis. They had the grand opening of their second station. We came to Trenton the next day, had the grand opening of our station. Went to Nashville, then we went to Athens, Tennessee, ended up in Spear County. The whole thing was a publicity media event. I was interviewed by 3 major television stations, 8 newspapers. We figured we reached over 2 million people. I'm also on the American Public Gas Association board. I run their NGU committee out of Washington. I'm in the process of trying to generate a national rally right now. And there's NGV America, another group I'm working with that made mention of our Tennessee rally. This is how we did. I think I just told you. I traveled 1,245 miles on natural gas for $70. Went all the way across the state back. This is the road rally I'm trying to put together right now. Starting in Long Beach, California, into Washington, D.C. You see I'm going to come through Tennessee. We're going to get some credit for this. I'll go through this real quick, talking about abundance. This is a slide I got from the pipeline. There is so much gas in the Marcellus Shale in Pennsylvania and Utica Shale in Ohio. They don't know what to do with it all. Pipelines are in the process of turning compressor stations around so they can move the gas south, they move it east, they move it west. There's so much gas up there they can't do anything with it. They got to get it out of there. That just shows the abundance we have. Here are the links to different organizations, some of which I mentioned. If you don't do anything, if you write down or think about CNG now or CNG prices, that will show you, if you go to that site, go to the fueling aspect of it, it'll show you every station in America and what they're charging, and you will be amazed at how many you see out there. What I just showed you was the Southeast United States. Conversion centers, there's not any close around here. The closest one would be Birmingham, Alabama. This is Tennessee Gas Association, that's who we belong to, and then East Tennessee Clean Fuels, that's Jonathan Overly. And if you don't change, maybe one day you might have a carpool like that. Don't think your gasoline could go $3.50 a gallon or more or higher. And then what I like right here about my man George Patton, I love his spirit. We just celebrated Veterans Day, didn't we? You think if it hadn't been for him, we might be speaking a different language? The Germans were scared of that man. They were scared of that man. You know, to me, epitomizes what America's all about. You know, walks off and carry a big stick. But that's the kind of attitude I think we need to have in this business to make this transformation happen. And that's the end of my presentation. I got about 2 minutes in case there's questions. I'll be available after it's over. I'll give you my card. On the back, it's got those apps where you can go to those places to look for those stations. But, yes, sir.
Typically, what's the cost to convert a vehicle?
Right. Well, right now, it's not going to be advantageous for just the average homeowner because the tank is what you're paying for, and that's about $10,000 markup. But if you have a fleet, the more you drive, the faster you pay that back. And that's why it's working good with all the big trucking firms. Or if you had a small plumbing firm, or if you had, 15 or 20. I mean, the guy in Oklahoma had 10 Honda Civic GXs. He's driving all over the country. He had it for 6.5 years. He said, I don't know why everybody's not doing this. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
If it's so abundant, how do you come up with the $2.16 a gallon? Why isn't it maybe $1.50 or $1?
Well, like in Tennessee, it's $1.39 to $1.99. When you start talking about a national average, that's why you're going to be a little higher.
Is it taxed the same way as gasoline?
Yes, sir. pay taxes. The electric cars don't. I'm not here to beat them up, I'm just telling the truth. Yes, sir.
If you have an automobile and you said you could run on natural gas and regular gas,
Uh-huh.
do you have to do a conversion if you run out of natural gas, or does it just change?
On my truck, it will automatically do it, or it'll give me an indicator it's getting low, and all I have to do is push a little button and it'll do it. Now, the tanks are coming down in price. There's a new technology out there called an absorption tank. It's a carbonized hockey puck, and it sits in the tank, and as you fill the tank, the puck gets bigger, and then as you use it, it goes back down, and that's the latest and greatest on what's going to cause an absorption tank. We'll see how that goes. This technology is changing all the time. It's not going to stay with what I have on my truck forever. Yes, sir.
What do you have to do besides compress the gas, just like oil, you have to go through refineries? What do you have to do to the gas besides compress it?
That's it. It's just like the gas you use in your home. That's why you saw those compressors at the station, and that's what compresses the gas that goes in those tubes. The tubes sit ready when you put it in your car, then you fill the tank up. Okay. Philip knows how to get in touch with me. Y'all ever want to talk about energy, please give me a call. Pay attention to energy and what goes on, because that's what makes this country so great. I really appreciate being here today. Like I said, it's kind of a reunion to come back, and look forward to another visit. Thank you.